This might sound quite a bold statement, but I'm going to help you cut your handicap in half. And it is just one tiny, almost really annoying thing that you do before every single golf shot that costs you missed hits, poor consistency, lack of distance in every single shot you hit. Whether it's a drive, whether it's an iron, whether it's a chip shot. I know you make this mistake because I do too. So this is a reminder for myself and a reminder for you. What is it? It's all about setting the radius. This is how most of you tee up the ball. Put it in the ground, put the club there, move yourself around, wiggle your feet, tap, 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 up and down, trying to find your position, wiggling around, various things like this, okay? And then away you go. However, if I did that again, put it in the ground, especially come back, take my aim, set up, put it in the ground, trying to get comfortable, wiggle around and go. Already, those two, just those two alone, are incredibly different golf swings. And I haven't even swung yet. Why? You might not even have noticed it. But what slightly intentionally, but it happens unintentionally way too frequently, not just with driver, we're actually going to get onto irons in a second. I accidentally totally changed my golf swing because my radius, my balance on my feet, the distance I was standing from the ball, basically everything was variable and it's different every time. And by doing that, I'm going to make it simple. Well, let's say I was too close to the ball and I'm going to be back on my heels. That's going to change my, backswing and downswing. If I was too far away and I'm on my toes, right, that's going to change my backswing and downswing dramatically. They're exaggerations, but even the most minuscule difference can totally alter your golf swing. And it's why way too many golfers are struggling because they're trying to do all these different fixes, all these different things that are happening in their swing. So my swing always feels different. Well, this is going to be very different to this. It's also going to be very different to a more ideal position. So we have to get it right. So how do you get it right? Is it hours and hours of practice? Does it take a long time to figure this out? Absolutely not. You just have to be diligent in doing this. We have to stick our radius as consistently the same as we possibly can. How do we do it? It's actually really freaking simple and it's going to have so much positive effect to you. It's like annoying. What you're going to do is put the driver right behind the ball. And now this does not move. There is a slight caveat to this because a driver, we actually do want it hovering a little bit because as we swing out, we're going to be striking it on the upswing and it can often come out the toe a little bit because we're swinging longer, our arc increases, but we want to try and minimize the variables, like I said. So let's keep this dead simple. You're putting the club behind the ball, boom, almost like sticking it into the ground, like it's glued. If you need someone to hold it while you do this, that's fine. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to kind of do a bit of a Goldilocks thing. I'm going to keep that club in place so it's not moving at all, and I'm moving forwards and backwards, shuffling forwards and backwards to find my ideal radius. I'm noticing where's the weight distribution in my feet. Am I too much on my toes? Am I too much on the heels? Am I feeling too cramped? And you might be like, well, okay, where do I allow the hands to fall? The hands basically are going to fall. If I take my setup here, I've got videos on posture, I'm not going to cover that. We take our setup, we've got our angles. I'm basically just clapping my hands together. Where those hands clap, when they're nice and relaxed, is where I want my grip to be. Not going to be out here, not going to be tucked in. It's where those hands are clapping, right? There. That's where I'm going to clap naturally every time. I'm now putting that club down and making sure that my feet and my body, my torso gets correct. So it's going to feel weird, like pushing it down. You can almost feel like you're pushing it down into the ground a little bit if you know that you move around. But you'll start to calibrate yourself with a point of reference. And the point of reference is the club being in the ground and where you're able to clap very naturally. So we piece all this together. But your pre-shot routine is not waggling, is not moving around. You might have a waggle, but I need you, when you put that club down first, to set your radius, to get your setup how you want it to be. Yes, we want to kind of keep moving, but I'm setting my radius here. And then from there, I basically pull the trigger and swing. And even with slightly crappy swings like that, you're going to hit the center of the club face more often. There's going to be less variables. You're basically just going to be more consistent. I really want you to be using this with irons as well. Setting your radius is going to play a big role in your low point, hitting out the toe or the heel. Various things happen to the entire swing when you have a different radius, right? When your distance from the ball varies, when your posture changes, when your balance changes from your feet and your heels. We're basically ensuring that we've got half the battle done. So every shot you hit, stick the club into the ground. Keep it there. If you need to keep checking that your hands clap here, that's fine also. And then we can execute. Try not to fidget around. I do that quite a bit and I have to be wary of it. It doesn't mean you're static. It doesn't mean you're totally rigid and you stay here and then you suddenly have to snatch it away. But we're trying to make sure that we stick to our radius. This is the thing that we control. This is our reliability that we can enhance with the swing just by setting the radius. You'll hit the middle of the face more often, you'll be more consistent, and your swing just won't feel as weird, I promise you. If you like that, watch this lesson next, because there's another really simple tip that you can do at setup to give you more power and reliability. Cheers.